Poland, a nation often celebrated as an economic success story, a paragon of post-communist transformation within the European Union, stands at a unique and critical juncture. Its dynamic cities, its robust economic growth, and its youthful demographic dividend paint a picture of undeniable progress. Yet, beneath this impressive surface, an escalating challenge quietly asserts itself, directly impacting the aspirations and daily realities of millions of its citizens. This is not a narrative frequently dominating international headlines, nor is it a simple statistical anomaly. We are referring to the Polish housing crisis, a complex, multifaceted phenomenon that, despite a decade of remarkable economic expansion, continues to cast a long shadow over the future of ordinary people. It is a challenge that intersects with demographics, macroeconomics, urban planning, and, fundamentally, the very social fabric of the nation. But rather than dwelling on the magnitude of the problem, we shall embark on a journey to understand its intricate components and, crucially, to illuminate the pathways towards innovative, sustainable, and equitable solutions. Welcome to Poland's Housing Horizon, an in-depth exploration of how a nation navigates its most pressing domestic challenge, transforming crisis into genuine opportunity. Segment 1. Deconstructing the crisis. The data behind the demand. To truly grasp the contours of the Polish housing crisis, we must first dissect the empirical data that underlies its severity. Poland, with a population nearing 38 million, currently faces one of the most significant housing shortages in the European Union. Estimates suggest a deficit of anywhere from 1.5 to 2 million housing units. This isn't merely an inconvenience, it's a profound systemic imbalance. The core drivers are multi-layered. Firstly, we observe a robust demographic demand. A large cohort of young Poles, reaching family-forming age, are entering the housing market, propelled by aspirations for independent living, a natural progression after decades of societal change. This demand is further amplified by a substantial influx of economic migrants, particularly from Ukraine, seeking stability and opportunity, further intensifying pressure on already constrained urban housing stock. Secondly, macroeconomic factors play a pivotal role. Rapid economic growth, coupled with historically low interest rates until recently, made real estate an attractive investment, leading to speculative demand. House prices in major Polish cities have seen dramatic increases, often outstripping average wage growth, rendering home ownership increasingly unattainable for a significant segment of the population. In Warsaw, for example, property prices have surged by over 100% in a decade, while wages have increased by a comparatively modest 60 to 70%. This disproportionate rise creates a formidable barrier to entry, exacerbating what is commonly termed housing affordability challenges across the entire socio-economic spectrum. The aspiration for home ownership, deeply embedded within Polish culture, is colliding with an unforgiving economic reality. Segment 2. The supply-side enigma. Barriers to development. While demand is robust, the supply side of the equation presents an equally complex enigma. Despite significant construction activity, the rate of new housing delivery has consistently failed to meet the escalating demand. This is not for a lack of available land, but rather a confluence of structural impediments to development. One primary factor is the often protracted and complex urban planning process. Local spatial development plans, or Miejsko-plany zagospodarowania przestrzennego, are frequently either non-existent or outdated in many municipalities. This regulatory vacuum forces developers to rely on individual building permits, HWZ, a process notorious for its unpredictability, lengthy appeals, and susceptibility to local resistance, known as NIMBYism, not in my backyard. Such bureaucratic hurdles significantly extend development timelines and escalate project costs, which are inevitably passed on to the consumer. A comparison with Germany or the Netherlands, where clear long-term spatial planning guides development, highlights Poland's systemic disadvantage here. Furthermore, the structure of the construction industry itself merits scrutiny. While there are large developers, the market also features a fragmented landscape of smaller players. Access to affordable construction materials has become increasingly volatile, exacerbated by global supply chain disruptions and inflationary pressures. Crucially, the scarcity of skilled labor in the construction sector, as many Polish workers have sought higher wages in Western Europe, further constrains the pace of building. Lastly, the historical legacy of the socialist era left Poland with a limited tradition of robust public housing initiatives or extensive cooperative housing models, leaving the primary responsibility for housing provision almost exclusively to the private market. This reliance on market forces, while stimulating growth, has struggled to address the acute affordability gap for lower and middle-income households. Segment 3. Multiple perspectives, socio-political dimensions. The Polish housing crisis is not merely an economic problem. It possesses profound socio-political dimensions, eliciting diverse perspectives from across the demographic and political spectrum. For younger generations, particularly those in their late 20s and 30s, the crisis represents a significant threat to their life aspirations. The inability to secure stable, affordable housing delays critical life decisions, forming families, having children, and establishing long-term financial security. This directly contributes to anxieties about the nation's demographic future, as declining birth rates are often linked to economic precarity. From their perspective, the market has fundamentally failed to provide a basic right. Conversely, older generations, many of whom benefited from historical allocations or purchased property when prices were considerably lower, often view housing through a different lens, as a stable investment and a source of intergenerational wealth transfer. While sympathetic to the struggles of the young, their lived experience provides a less acute understanding of the current affordability chasm. From the perspective of private developers, the challenges are framed by the costs of land acquisition, complex regulations, and the volatility of the market, making the provision of truly affordable housing a difficult proposition without public subsidies. Politically, the issue is becoming increasingly salient. Parties across the spectrum now recognize its urgency, but their proposed solutions often reflect their core ideologies. Some advocate for market-driven incentives, deregulation, and supporting private developers. Others champion robust public housing programs, increased social housing stock, and more stringent rental market regulations. The debate is vigorous, highlighting a growing public consciousness that a solution is not only desirable, but absolutely necessary for the nation's long-term stability and social cohesion. This underscores the positive shift towards a political will to address these fundamental issues. Segment 4. Towards a solution. Poland's housing horizon. While the challenges are formidable, the very recognition of the Polish housing crisis as a national priority signals a turning point. We are now moving beyond problem identification towards the active development and implementation of multifaceted, integrated solutions. Poland's future housing horizon is bright with potential if these strategies are adopted with determination. One crucial area for reform lies in streamlining urban planning and permitting processes. Implementing clearer, more predictable local development plans would significantly reduce developer risk and accelerate construction timelines. Furthermore, government initiatives like the First Home program, offering attractive low-interest mortgages to first-time buyers, represent an important step in improving housing affordability. However, such demand-side interventions must be carefully balanced with robust supply-side increases to avoid inadvertently inflating prices. A more strategic approach also involves exploring the reintroduction and scaling up of public and cooperative housing models, drawing lessons from successful examples in Austria, Germany, or the Nordic countries. This could provide genuinely affordable options for those underserved by the private market. Investing in sustainable construction practices and modular building techniques could also accelerate delivery and reduce costs, simultaneously addressing environmental considerations. Critically, local governments must be empowered and incentivized to actively identify and designate land for housing development, collaborating effectively with both private and non-profit sectors. By fostering a collaborative ecosystem between national government, municipalities, developers and citizens, Poland can strategically address its housing deficit. The will to solve this crisis is growing, and with a commitment to innovative policy, Poland is uniquely positioned to transform this complex challenge into an unparalleled opportunity for sustainable social and economic progress. Conclusion: building a brighter future. The Polish housing crisis is a significant hurdle, undoubtedly. Yet it also represents a powerful impetus for innovation, for more collaborative governance, and for a renewed national commitment to the well-being of its citizens. By leveraging data, understanding the intricate dynamics of supply and demand, and embracing a holistic approach to urban development, Poland is not merely confronting a problem. It is actively constructing a more equitable, more prosperous future for ordinary people. The challenges are clear, but the pathways to opportunity are becoming increasingly visible. If this deep dive into Poland's housing landscape has illuminated the complexities of national development, I strongly encourage you to explore our wider analysis of the socio-economic challenges facing other nations. For a comparative perspective on how different countries navigate similar pressures, delve into our previous documentaries: Germany on the Edge, The Changing Social Climate and the Future of Ordinary People, where we examine Germany's own unique set of issues, and for a broader understanding of how political decisions impact citizens' daily lives, explore the Great UK Economic Betrayal, Data, Class Politics, and the End of British Prosperity. Subscribe to our channel to continue your informed journey through the critical global challenges and innovative solutions shaping our world. Thank you for observing. The future is being built, brick by brick,